it's now the time to create a new case for my old server, which was working flawlessly in the past, I think 4 years or even more than that. But now, since it was built, well, from scrap materials, it's starting to make some weird noise as soon as the fan starts. So I think there is a fan problem. Unfortunately, the fan used in both the... No, I think it's the PSU fan, because, well, it's that type of fan which you can't add oil to it. So now I'm thinking to build a new case, because we will get rid of all the metal and all the possible things that can rattle when it works. So firstly, I will disassemble the entire thing, and let's see what we can script from it. Keep in mind that this was the CPU, I think it was staying at below 40 degrees. The CPU is an i3 6100, I think. It also has 16 gigabytes of RAM, DDR4. And it has only one stick because, well, this is how I bought it back in 2022. It had a bent pin on the CPU socket, this being the reason why I couldn't add 2 sticks of RAM. We will try to figure that out at the end of the video. I already made a video about the pin, the bent pin. I tried to bend it back and I was successful, but unfortunately at the end I just broke it. So instead of a bent pin, now we have a broken pin. But we will see later how this goes. I won't keep anything like the plexiglass that I used in the project and the aluminum parts, because they are kind of small. They are below 19 centimeters or 20 centimeters. I'll keep the screws, all the parts, the CPU, of course. Everything will be reused. It will just be a new case. As you can see, everything is in good condition. Of course, I've cleaned them, I've wiped them, and these are the remaining parts. The buttons are still working, so this is good. The Wi-Fi card, I don't really like this particular card because the antennas are soldered to the card, so you can't use any external antennas. You have to use the proprietary one. Okay, so as soon as we clean everything, as you can see, there is some mold, I think. So I will change the thermal pads. Let's start assembling the case. You don't need any heat inserts. You can just use M3 screws and M3 nuts. You'll have to cut a bit the screws because I wasn't able to find screws short enough. So let's enjoy the assembly. The 3D files will be uploaded to Maker's World and the link will be provided in the description. I've tried to use some M3 bolts for the PSU, and the holes in the PSU are not M3, are M3.2 or M3.5, something like that, so they're not wide enough. The only possible way is to use PSU screws to keep it in place. If not, it will just not stay in place. You'll see in a couple of seconds. So as you can see, it doesn't stay. So we have to use PSU screws. As you can see here, with PSU screws, everything stays in place. Since this is a SROC motherboard, it's somehow having a proprietary size. It's not 17 by 17 as the usually mini-itx has. I think it's 17 by 19. So this particular case can fit 17 by 17 motherboards, but you will have 2 centimeters left at the bottom, which I don't think it's having more space. It's not really a bad thing. So it can be reused for any mini-itx motherboard. We have some channels for the PSU cables, as you saw. The SSD and the HDD are fitting in place on the left and on the right side of the case. You'll have to connect them first because it will be easier, and you'll have to struggle a bit with cables. Everything is using M3 screws and M3 nuts, so you don't have to worry about it. We have a special channel for the SATA cable as well. Let's clean a bit the cables. You know that there are a lot of 3D versions of PC cases, but it's a different feeling when you're designing and building your own. As I said, with the proprietary antennas, I had to disassemble them and I removed the plastic part so it can fit inside the case. You don't have to worry about them. For those who will say something about the range, I'm using it in the same room as the router is, so we won't have any issues with that. Okay, this is the final version. It's nice and tidy. Everything fits in. It has a lot of airflow. And let's see how it works, if it works. The moment of truth. As you can see, the HDD LED is not lighting. So this is a problem. We only have the power LED. So there is no signal to the monitor. As you remember, I talked about the CPU pin that was bent and I broke it after, as you can see in this video. And it was working with it bent, but since now it's broken, it doesn't make contact with the CPU. So CPU, since it's a RAM pin, and unfortunately this CPU socket is dead. This is the amount of waste in order to build this case. 1 kilo has 2.2 kilos in total. So yeah, the case it's only maybe even lower than 1 kilo because those were only failed prints.